This program was first broadcast on Canterbury's access media station, Plains FM, and was made with the assistance of New Zealand On Air.
Good morning, Bliss lovers. It is Rebecca Davison here, intuition coach, spiritual advisor, and founder of the Intuitive Life Academy. Welcome, folks. It's good to have you here on the Find Your Bliss show, which is every Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. So today, folks, we are talking about connecting with your angelic team, so your angels and guides. And, we're definitely getting a bit woo-woo today. But the good thing about angels and guides, best place to start with angels and guides is to realize, because a lot of people associate angels with the Bible or with religion, and to realize that angels are non-denominational, which means that they're not particular or associated to any particular religion, although you do see them in the Bible. Of course, the angel that comes to mind is the Archangel Gabriel, who, of course, sent the message to Mother Mary that she was going to birth the Son of God. So, but we'll dive into your angels a little bit more in terms of who some of them are, perhaps, if you've never been introduced to them before, or why you would even want to start working with angels and guides. So everybody has angels, everybody has a soul, so they are assigned angels. And why do we have angels? I guess it's one of the universe's way of providing additional support. Yes, the universe is everywhere simultaneously across all time, dimension, space, and reality, but the universe also provides higher frequencies of energy, such as angels, to be able to support you. So essentially it's like instead of just having one energy or entity that you can tune into, you have multiple different energies and entities. And we actually go further into this in Intuitive Mastery in regards to what the hierarchy is when it comes to angels and guides, even though often we associate that word with not such a great, hierarchy often has a negative connotation. But this is really about the teams of angels and guides that you have available to us, moving up to terms that you would again hear in often religious terms, which is cherubim and seraphim, which is the highest levels of energy before you move into just pure source consciousness. But there are so many different layers beyond that. But what we're going to talk about today specifically, though, is angels and how angels can support you in your life, and to share with you my own experience of angels, which is kind of interesting. Because when I first started developing my intuition, I actually had quite a lot of resistance to working with angels and guides. I was like doubtful Thomas. I was like, no, I want to go straight directly to source energy. I want the universe to respond to me, as opposed to feeling comfortable working with angels and guides. So I did. I used to talk to the universe directly and ask questions and get information and have answers. And it was only then, when I was really satisfied with that I actually started working with angels and guides. And so angels, what can we know? Angels are higher frequencies of energy. Angels are beyond ego. So they don't, some of them have had an ego, like angels like Metatron or Sandalphon, they say have lived on the earth plane. So they have experienced what it's like to have ego. Ego, of course, being that reflex that wants to keep you safe, but often keeps you small. It's a defense mechanism, essentially. Your ego is always wanting to make sure that you are staying alive, staying healthy, getting what you need, essentially. But it's not always helpful in terms of your spiritual growth. Like, one of the biggest things, of course, that we have to do to evolve is transcend our ego and move into working and listening and hearing our soul, and then moving into that space of realizing that that is the truth of who we are. Your ego is just a reflex that's trying to keep you safe. So when we start working with angels and guides, or we start tuning into these frequencies of energy, it helps us to move beyond our ego. It helps us to transcend, to be able to listen to our soul more. And it brings a great deal of comfort working with angels and guides. If you have ever felt alone, it is a wonderful thing to do to start working with angels because, and of course, you can see how this is very comforting for children in terms of if they're going to sleep, you can ask for angels to watch over them. You can help them create more confidence and know that they're not alone, and to help them to step into their supernatural self by asking them to imagine an angel with them. And of course, even through focus and attention, your angels are there, which is so comforting to know, right? Everybody has a guardian angel. Often you have more than one. That guardian angel is with you from birth. So your guardian angel is, like there's often a lot of funny memes about angels, right? That you're keeping them on their toes in terms of what you're getting up to. Because they're always looking out for you. They are a safe place, right? They are comfort. They are nurturing. You want to ask them questions so they can help you in your everyday life. And I'm talking about the little stuff and the big stuff, right? Like asking an angel, please can you show me my purpose? Can you give me some guidance in regards to discovering what my purpose is? That's when the book will fall off the shelf, or you'll have a conversation with a person and they'll give you some information, and then you'll talk to somebody else a couple of days later, and then they'll give you the same information. That's kind of one of the ways that your angels can help you to receive information through the world around you to support you in regards to your spiritual growth. So they're really like your support team, and it's so comforting to know that you have one. Now, I'm talking specifically about angels today, but you also have guides. You have spiritual teachers available to you in the etheric realms. You have you can work with cherubs if you wanted to. You can call on specific angels in terms of asking for help and guidance. You have angels, and then you have archangels above the angels. They, I guess, have more power, more light. But working with, you have runners. That's why, when you're asking to find a car park, that's probably a job for a runner, right? An angel that goes out and finds the car park for you, as opposed to an angel that you're going to go to solve a complex emotional problem, right? There is different, just like, like if your grandmother was great at making apple pie, you might tune in and ask her spirit for an apple pie recipe, but she was terrible at love advice. You would probably ask her for the apple pie recipe first over and above giving you love advice. The same thing is with angels. We want to be aware of who we're asking for what. So, to give you some example, one of the most common archangels that is known is Archangel Michael, known as the right hand of God. So Archangel Michael is incredibly powerful, and again, angels can be simultaneously everywhere because they're beyond physical form. So I know some people get caught in the rational mind and they go, if I call on Archangel Michael, is he going to be busy? Or is he going to be talking to somebody else? Because if there's only one Archangel Michael, how can multiple people access this? This is what it comes back to in terms of energy and consciousness. Of course, we can tune into an energy at any given time. So Archangel Michael can simultaneously be across the world helping, millions and billions of people. But we can still call on him and ask him. What did he get asked for most? Probably mostly protection. Archangel Michael, carries the sword of truth. So if you're looking to create more truth in your life, you want to be able to call on Archangel Michael to cut through anything that is untrue in your life. And, sometimes truth can be really confronting for our egos to realize that something that we thought was true is not true, or something that we want to look a particular way and it doesn't look that way. Then, asking for truth to be shown to us can sometimes be confronting to our egos. But the beautiful thing that you can do is you can ask your angels to help you or to support you in regards to receiving the truth. And why do we want to know the truth? We want to know the truth because the truth sets us free. Like Gloria Steinem said, it'll piss you off first, but it will set you free. It's usually what happens, right? Because you have the egoic reaction to truth, and then your soul experiences the expansion, which comes from aligning with truth, because the truth is ever expansive. The truth is high frequency energy. The truth is source energy coming down onto the planet and into our awareness. So we want to align with truth because that will bring us the greatest feelings of expansion, of freedom, of joy, of bliss, of true fulfillment. And how can you tell if you're aligned to truth or not? How happy are you? That's pretty much it in a nutshell. if you're not happy, then you're probably not aligned to the truth. The truth is, you are not your body, you are not your mind, you're not even your emotions. You are beyond that. You're a limitless being in a body. So that is a big truth to come into alignment with, but your angels can support you in doing that. So Archangel Michael, call upon him for protection. If you need comfort in some way, if you're not feeling very strong, you can ask Archangel Michael to step in and support you. And again, you can ask very specific questions of angels. Can you please help me with this exam that I'm doing, with this public presentation? Can you please bring light into my workplace because it's feeling heavy, or the culture's not so good, or the management's not in the right place for everybody to experience more happiness. That you're only limited by your imagination when it comes to asking questions. So, Archangel Michael, and I've had some really fun experiences with angels. I remember I got some feng shui done on my house once, and the woman walked into my bedroom and she said, I can feel Archangel Michael here, which made me laugh because I actually ask for angels to be on all four corners of my house, and often more than that around the house, to bring light frequencies into the house. I do a lot of healing work in my home, so of course I want the energy to be blessed there. I want it to feel good. I want it to feel safe. I want it to feel relaxed. When you do a certain thing in a particular place over an extended period of time, the energy of that ends up in the walls and the floor and the ceiling. So asking for angels to be present in your home, very comforting feeling. Ask them to run light through the foundations in your property, right? And bless the walls, the ceiling, the floor. Make sure everything's filled with light. You can ask your angels to do that. It's very comforting to have angels on all four corners of your property. So she walked into my bedroom and she was like, I can feel Archangel Michael here, because one of the corners of my house is the bedroom. So, and I do actually ask Archangel Michael to be in that specific corner. So it was really cool that I didn't tell her. She just picked it up, right? She could feel it. I was actually overseas at an event for Christy Marie Sheldon, and Kasha, her right-hand lady at the time, she said to me, just like Archangel Michael in your bedroom, right, Rebecca? And I was just like, whoa. She just picked that up intuitively. It was really fun. So again, when you start working with angels, they have a certain frequency and a certain vibration, and you want to tune into that to feel more supported, to feel more comfort, to feel safer, especially in times like this, right? Like 2020 has been a tough year, folks. It has been delivering up what it is that you need to be able to evolve, but it has done it at a heightened pace. And I can't imagine what 2020 would be like if I wasn't using my tools and working my light and doing energy work. I can imagine it would be even more confronting, even more confusing, even more overwhelming, even more frightening, which is why we are being constantly pushed to evolve. And you don't have to do it by yourself. You can call on angels to support you. So let's talk a little bit more about some other archangels, at least. Archangel Raphael is a really great archangel to call on too, especially in 2020 for healing. So Archangel Raphael is the archangel that you would call upon if somebody you knew was having surgery. You would ask Archangel Raphael to be with the surgeons, to be in the surgery room, often known as having a dark green cape that you can drape around people to help them in their healing process, whether that's physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever it is. So really beautiful energy in terms of calmness and healing, right? You need to be calm to be able to heal. So Archangel Raphael is really comforting in that respect. If you have a broken heart, really good archangel to call on. If you're feeling confused, again, just bringing in those soothing, healing energies, Archangel Raphael is beautiful for that. Archangel Camuwell is Shamuel, rather, I think it's pronounced, is really, it's kind of like a cooler aquamarine kind of colour associated with him. But again, a beautiful archangel to call on to heal a broken heart, to help you with your soulmate relationships. Because of course, there's always going to be a huge amount of growth in those relationships. Your soulmate is always somebody who helps you to grow spiritually. So whoever those people are in your life, they're always going to be the people that your ego will perceive has caused you as the most pain, but they're actually the people who are helping you grow the most. There are a lot of different interpretations of soulmate. I think a lot of people romanticize a soulmate quite a lot. A soulmate is anybody really in your life who is there, who has probably a pre-agreed agreement to be there to help you to grow and evolve. And often those relationships, we notice them because they are often really painful. So, but they're, those people have often made a soul contract to come into your life to help you to grow. So your angels can support you through that process of growth. You can ask your angels to go to the person, your loved one, to bless them, to support them, to ask for miracles for other people. When you do that for other people, you're essentially asking it to do it for yourself as well, because we're all connected through the law of one. So when you love and bless other people, you're extending yourself the same energy. So that's a beautiful thing you can do with angels. If you are confused or upset or in a relationship where you're not sure which way is up or what to do, you can send angels to that person. You can ask your angels to overlook somebody else. You can ask them to send love, blessings, support, whatever it is that that person needs, right? That person moves into, beyond their own ego and into their soul self, so they can experience the expansion, the freedom, the liberation that comes from seeing a much bigger picture. That's the thing about the ego. It always is always quite small, right? It's quite myopic. It's often associated with the fear, the doubt. Whereas, when you move into your soul self, you're moving into expansion. You're moving into way much more information, resources, support, frequencies of energy that actually serve us as human beings. So, beautiful angels to call into as well. Camuwell is really great for communication as well. If you have been having conflict and communication with somebody, call on Archangel Camuwell to bring in harmony in your communication, to bring in soothing energy between you, to bring in the awareness of what it is that you need to be able to see so you can communicate with other people effectively. Beautiful, beautiful energy. And now more than ever, it's really appropriate to start working with angels in these light frequencies, because it's so important to be supported by higher frequencies of energy, and they are available and there all the time. This is the thing about angels though, folks. You will never, angels, they respect your free will. So they will never overstep your boundaries. They will never, they need to be asked, right? So you need to activate by asking. And often what happens, right, because the ego will bump in here again, because it loves doing that, and it will say, oh, this isn't working. Be consistent, right? Ask 100 questions every day, you're going to see some responses from the universe. You'll get information. You'll start seeing angel numbers. Angel numbers are often sequences of numbers like 111, 222, synchronicities, where you've been talking about something and something that's relevant to that topic comes up into your life or world. Pay attention, right? Like I have really noticed that, and probably the last week, there has been such an increase in synchronicities. And I would imagine, again, because it's this portal of energy that's coming through in regards to the astrological events starting on the 21st of December. There's two astrological events. What is it? Is it Jupiter and Mars coming into alignment together? I can't remember. I have to look it up. But the point being, one of these astrological events hasn't happened for 200 years and the other one hasn't happened for 800 years. So when things like this happen, it has an impact on the planet, right? It has an impact on the frequencies that are coming into the planet. It has an impact on us as human beings because we are frequency as well. So it's a really important time to be aware, right? The universe has pushed big time in regards to our growth and evolution. We have had to go back to basics. We've had to learn learn what it is to be with each other again, because we've had lockdown, so we've had to be at home. And what happens when we're at home and not distracting ourselves and making ourselves busy? We have to communicate. We have to be responsible for the energy that we're bringing. We're going into deeper levels of intimacy with the people around us, with our loved ones. So we have to learn what it takes to be more conscious and to be able to create the outcomes that we want. And our angels can help us to do that. So really starting to realize, where there is increased synchronicity, your angels will be there. They can support you, right? Ask them for what it is that you need help with. Even if it's like, I need to find a toothpaste for the kids that doesn't have any sugar in it, right? Like literally, that is the kind of thing you can ask your angels and guides for, all the way through to, I'd really like my car to pass its warrant, or I would really love some support in regards to finding the money to buy the new tires that I need for my car, through to I need to change my job. I'm unhappy. What would it take to find an amazing job opportunity that really suits me? You can ask your angels and guides to support you with anything and everything, but you must ask, and if asking is all that it takes, right, that is really pretty much, it's not a lot of effort to ask a question, right? You can just do it in the shower, see yourself surrounded by light, call in your angels and guides, and you can just do that by saying, I invoke Archangel Michael, I invoke my angels and guides I ask to send hundreds of my angels and guides to this person I know who needs help, or they need support, or they need extra love, or they need to feel safe standing on their own 2 feet, whatever it is. So you have hundreds and thousands of angels at your disposal. And again, but knowing a little bit more about the archangels and which ones you can call on specifically to support you in day-to-day life, it's really important. Archangel Gabriel, of course. You would call on Archangel Gabriel to support you when you're doing a public speaking, right? To do anything to do with communication. Maybe when you have to deliver some bad news, you'd call on Archangel Gabriel first and say, please be with me as I deliver this message, because I know it's going to be distressful or upsetting for the other person. So what would it take to be able to deliver this message in a way that it lands with as much love as possible? This is one of the things when we start working with our intuitive guidance, is we want to get really good at asking questions. We want to get really good at learning how to frame a question in such a way that we get a great response from our angelic team. But this is what I did, right? When I first started developing my intuition, is I asked that, what would it take to be the person who knows how to put together a really great question? And again, through time and practice, that has definitely evolved. So being comfortable asking, and this is the thing, I think a lot of times when we start working with angels and guides, we can feel the difference in frequency between us and them. So sometimes people feel a little intimidated. Sometimes they feel a little bit like, whoa, this is such a beautiful high frequency energy, and is it safe, right, and good for me to connect with it? Like somehow that I'm not worthy to connect with my angels and guides. But of course you are. Of course you are. You're here. You're on the planet. You're an infinite being in a body. Working with angels and guides helps you to embody that. It helps you to know it on a cellular level in your physical self. And you can do that again by asking those questions and seeing what happens. So let me give you some examples of what happens, like even just in the Intuitive Mastery group. One of the ladies there was asking her angels and guides to surprise and delight her. And she came home and there was like a gift box on her doorstep. Another time she asked and she received a book that was given to her. It was a pay it forward situation. So there's multiple ways that your angels and guides can communicate with you. I've had multiple situations where I remember falling down my stairs once and my angels and guides, literally in that moment, kind of being in the energy of like help. And, they helped to ease and break the fall. And if you've been to my place and you saw my stairs, that's quite a feat, right? So they're always with you, supporting you. If you feel you're going to a public or a social setting and you experience a bit of social anxiety, one of the things you can ask is for them to be with you so you feel calmer and more relaxed. I've asked my angels and guides to be with me when I'm traveling. I can't tell you the number of times I've called on my angels when I have been on a flight and experienced turbulence. I always start praying and bringing in angels and guides whenever I fly. I've done a lot of travel and I feel very blessed to do that, but because I've done a lot of travel, I've also been on a lot of flights that have been really scary. So, and it's so comforting to have that feeling of support around you. I think sometimes too, people can attribute a lot of things to angels and guides, and we get a little bit confused sometimes in regards to what we're responsible for and what we're not. For example, they can only help you if you ask for help, right? Because you are the initiator, you are the creator of your reality. So, and I can't stress this enough, right? We need to be proactive. A lot of people think, oh, if I just sit under the tree and I meditate and I do enough ohms or I do enough mantras, then I can manifest what it is that I want. You need to be proactive. It's the feminine, which is the receptivity, and the masculine, which is being proactive, taking action. You can't receive without being proactive, right? There needs to be some forward momentum for that energy to come back to you. So we need to ask, right? We need to ask our angels and guides. And then if your angels and guides give you some awareness, we need to follow through on that. And this is often what happens with intuitive guidance. People are getting intuitive hits all the time, but they ignore them. And then we have the next category where people are getting intuitive hits and then they take action on that, right? Which is a whole different place to be, because if you're taking action on your intuitive guidance, things are going to show up differently. And then when those things show up differently, following more guidance in regards to what to do next. You know, like when I was first starting to work with my intuition and work with angels and guides, it would be like you'd open up some energy by asking a question, you'd receive some information, and then you'd take some action on that, and you wouldn't even necessarily know what the outcome was going to be. But what happens when you take action, folks, is even though you think, because people do think in a linear way, if I take this action, then this is going to happen and this will be the end result. It doesn't always work like that with your intuition, right? You can take this action and then your intuition might guide you to go in 180 degrees the opposite direction, because that's where you're guided to go. So you need to show up in the energy of positive expectation and asking your angels and guides to be with you every step of the way. I think people would call on angels and guides a lot of the time for comfort, right? To know that you're not alone, to know that you're being supported. But again, if you develop a relationship with your angels and guides, you get the comfort and the feelings of ease, grace, bliss, whatever it is that you're looking for, very quickly. Just like any relationship, like if you know somebody really well, then it's you know them, right? You know them on a deeper level. This is the kind of relationship that we want to create with our angels and guides. And not to be afraid, right? They love you. The other thing that angels and guides love is appreciation, right? So even thanking them in advance. Thank you so much for supporting me in this. Thank you so much for showing up in a big way for me right now. Thank you so much for watching over my children as they sleep. Thank you so much for supporting me in my career. Thank you so much for being with me as I'm driving so I can be safe. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, right? Like angels and guides love appreciation. Why? They're high frequency energy. Gratitude is high frequency energy. Makes sense, right? And again, you have hundreds of angels at your disposal. You can also go through your own angelic team or tribe and check the vibration, right? If you have anything in your angelic tribe that is not high frequency energy, you are the boss, right? You're the creator. You can ask it to release. You can ask it to leave as such. So making sure that you're taking responsibility for the tribe of light that you have around you, so important. And also too, because you have to ask yourself, you know, what environment are you living in? Are you living in an environment that is uplifting and positive and full of light and spaciousness? You can create that with your angelic team. You can create that for your children, right? That sense of safety. And goodness knows, you know, if you're bringing children up into this day and age, you want them to feel as safe as possible. So allow them to work with their own angels and guides to bring that light in, to bring that comfort in, so they can feel safe. And the kids are really open, so they get it a lot better often than adults. They're more open to those light frequencies. They know, right? They haven't shut it down or turn it off, which is often what we do, usually around the age of like 7, 8, 9, 10, right? We can shut down our intuitive guidance because we're shifting into wanting to identify more with being a human and then creating our own self-identity as we go through puberty and move into adulthood. So thanks for tuning in on Facebook, folks. It's always great to have you here and to connect in with you live. I'm going to say bye for now. You can continue listening either by going to 96.9 FM and tuning in on the radio, or you can always check out the rest of the podcast by going to iTunes or Spotify and searching for Find Your Bliss. See you later. Bye for now. Okay, so just turning off Facebook there. But if you guys are interested, I always do usually the first half hour or so on my Intuitive Life Academy page. So it's always fun to connect there, and so you guys can see me in the studio. So this morning we have been talking about angels and guides and how they can help you and what they are. And I guess too, like when I shared my own personal story of when I first started working with my intuition, I didn't really resonate with angels and guides, but I do now. And I guess too, angels and guides help you to expand, right? They help you to create a bigger container of light in your life and world. And if you work doing energy work, you really want to be working with angels and guides. Why? Because you want to use your angels and guides or ask them to support your clients, right? To send your angels and guides to your clients so they can actually evolve, so they can grow, so they can move beyond fear. So, and again, if you are a business owner, you want to be doing this no matter what your clients are buying from you. If you're selling houses, put angels in the homes, right? Bring the frequency of love into the properties that you're selling. If you're selling cars, right? Making sure that there's that beautiful frequency of energy in the vehicle, right? Try it and notice the difference. People sell more cars, sell more houses by doing this kind of thing, because it's beautiful light frequency energy. It is the energy of safety. It's the energy of comfort. It's the energy of knowing more. There's a really fabulous book that I would recommend that you read, and I remember reading it and just being like, oh my goodness, because you can feel it in the words too when you're reading it, and it's called Angels in My Hair. I'm actually going to look it up because I don't know the name of the woman who wrote it, but she's a beautiful Irish lady, and I think she had, when she was younger at least, beautiful red hair. Lorna Byrne is her name, and she's Irish, so just fabulous, true story of how this woman can literally see everybody's guardian angels. So she sees them around you and behind you. And she tells a wonderful story about her own very close connection with her angels. And even one circumstance, I think, when her husband was really sick, and she asked her angels and guides to really help him to stay alive. And they basically said that yes, but that it wouldn't happen again in the future. So really stepping into that space of, what does it take to start cultivating and creating a relationship with your angels and guides to be able to support you? And even, the thought process, some of you might be listening to this thinking, oh, that's a bit weird. I actually have an angel that supports me, or angels that support you. And the answer to that is yes. This is the thing, your angels are there whether you want them to be or not. They're not going to leave you, even if you turn around and say, I'm not interested in having a relationship with you. They're assigned to you, right? You have a soul, so therefore you have guardian angels. And they are there to support you. And you can cultivate this relationship by opening up and starting to have those conversations and just noticing what it feels like. Even, and again, your imagination is the gateway to your intuition. So starting to use your imagination to go, if I was connecting to my angels and guides, what would they tell me? If you're a business owner, this is a really great tool and tip, which is to do the Spiritual Boardroom, right? Where you can imagine one of your angels in there. You could imagine I don't know, Richard Branson. You could, I've had a spiritual roundtable with Archangel Michael, Jewel, the singer, Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters. Anything that you can allow your imagination, because what you're doing is you're asking for support, you're asking for advice. So you can imagine that you're in this room and you sit down and you who you have at your spiritual roundtable. Now you can ask them for advice or support for anything for your business. What's the next step in my business? Show me what it is, where I need to go, who I need to serve, who do I need to connect with in order to make a bigger impact, to serve more people. What does it take if you've lost your faith, perhaps, for your angels and guides to help you to restore it? They can do that for you, but you have to ask. Right? You have to ask the universe to support you. And what I often see too is people, they get stuck because they stop asking. Or they get stuck because they're in fear and they don't remember in that moment that they can ask, right? When you're asking high frequency energy, what you're doing is you're choosing love over and over and over again. Why do we have angels in our life? Because the universe loves you. So it's extended these energies to you to support you in a bigger way. So it's like a gift from the universe. The universe is saying, I love you. I want you to feel supported. So here you are. So let's tune in to these frequencies of energy to be able to support you in day-to-day life. And if you're an adult and you're questioning this and you're kind of going, yeah, right, do it for your children, right? Because children are open to this stuff. They feel energy very easily. They're, super psychic. I'm sure your children, if you have them, has said stuff to you and you're like, whoa, where did that come from, right? Because children are open. They're closer to pure source energy. So they understand often more better than adults, right? We can go into the rational, critical, jaded mindset rather than being open to these beautiful frequencies of energy that are all around us that can really contribute to our happiness in a really positive way. So yeah, if you'd like to be inspired a little bit more, I'd recommend you check out that book, Angels in My Hair. Even reading stories about angels. I remember a printout I had once of like 100 stories of angels. So inspiring. Even watching on YouTube, right, where, sometimes you kind of think, oh, is this manufactured? Another time you kind of go, oh, no, it's not. Where you can see angel interventions in regards to accidents, etc. A spirit taking souls up into heaven. Angels are assigned with a lot of different tasks, but it's really to help humans, and there's hundreds and thousands of the angels available to you. You can summon them up at any given moment, but you must ask. Okay, so I'm looking at a few more archangels in terms of what you can ask them for support. Archangel Ariel comes to mind. She is an archangel really of strength and courage. So she's often depicted with a lion. Lion, of course, denoting courage, lion's heart, etc. So if you need more courage, which is often what we've had to draw on within ourselves in 2020, I would call on Archangel Ariel. Right. There's also Archangel Uriel. I don't know Archangel Uriel so well, but I have asked him before to protect the home. I've worked quite a bit with Metatron. Metatron, I love Archangel Metatron's energy. Again, Archangel Metatron is known as a human that ascended into angeldom. So obviously, did good deeds on earth and then ascended into angelic frequency. Also often associated with Sandalphon, who I guess is his twin essentially, or brother, who was also on the earth plane and ascended into angeldom. Metatron, though, is often, he's often depicted with what's called a Merkaba, which is sacred geometry. It is a multi-dimensional shape that holds energy. So if you are feeling flat, if you're feeling jaded, you can even ask Metatron to kind of drop his Merkaba through your energy fields to uplift your energy and to throw out any kind of psychic debris that you may be holding in any of your energy centers. I love Metatron because his energy to me feels fast, right? He's like, we're there already. We want to be there already. We want to grow. We want to evolve. We want to shift. We want to transform. Hugely instrumental archangel in terms of the evolution of consciousness, the evolution of humans, to move into greater fields of awareness and to really help with the age of Aquarius and the push that is occurring at the moment for humans to evolve. All right, we've really shifted densities. We've gone into fourth density energy. Everybody talks about the fifth dimension, but like I said, we're in the fourth density, which is really the heart chakra. Right, we're being encouraged, right? And often that can feel like being pushed or challenged into evolving into more love, right? What is the solution to any problem? It is more love. It's knowing what love really is. And love is constant, even if pain is present. Love is constant, even if our situation is challenging. Love is constant, even if our situation is not to our liking. Despite your circumstances, you can still feel love inside of yourself. That is the truth. That is the truth of who you are. The game of life is to know that rather than allow yourself to go into a thought process that convinces you differently, because that's where your ego steps in. So a lot of spiritual work is really getting out of your own way. It's letting go of your preconceived ideas of how you think things should look and actually allowing them to be as they are. And when you strip away all the untruths, love just remains. So we get to love ourselves, and we get to love our life, and we get to trust that our life is showing up the way that it's supposed to, or else it would be showing up differently. Because you have to remember, as a human, you have a limited awareness. When you start communicating with the universe, you expand that awareness, and you have a much greater understanding that the universe is infinitely intelligent and can come up with solutions to your problems before you have even fully thought the problem through, right? The universe can provide a solution that you could never have even thought of in a million years. And the universe, of course, provides these angels and guides to support you in the creation of those solutions. So I get it, folks, right? Like, this year has been really challenging. You guys know that I lost my dad back in May. I actually went to a funeral yesterday for an ex-boyfriend's father, and that was highly emotional, and it was really beautiful as well. But that did not come without a huge emotional file coming up for me personally. So it has been a really challenging year in terms of growth and evolution. And if we don't learn the tools to be able to navigate our reality, we are definitely going to suffer, right? That ego is going to have a field day with it. It's going to jump on it. It's going to make it wrong. You're going to go into those horrible energies of right, wrong, good, bad, as opposed to moving into oneness and acceptance and knowing that we're all connected. And if we can remove judgment from our lives, then we're going to experience so much more happiness, even judgment of your own circumstances. Maybe you're not in a job that you love. What I would encourage you to do, folks, is ask your angels and guides to help you love it, to help you to receive the gift and the learnings and the messages and the insights that are required so you can evolve and move into something that does serve you. I work with quite a few people who want to shift from being employed to being self-employed. And I can tell you right now, folks, that's one of the most powerful questions that you can ask. Show me, universe, what it is, or show me, angels and guides, what it is that I need to learn in regards to getting all the awarenesses that I need before I can evolve from my full-time job. Very powerful question. What I realized when I was in banking and I wanted to leave is that I could feel it on a soul level, that it didn't matter. Even if I left immediately, I still needed to learn some things. And it became very aware to me that I needed to be in that job for a certain period of time to learn what I needed to learn on a soul level so I could leave it. So if you're in a job right now that you're not enjoying and you want to step into being employed full-time, ask the circumstance to show you, what is it that I'm not seeing that I need to see? Where is it that I need to see the truth that I'm not allowing myself to see the truth? Right? What is it that I need to learn and embody and understand so I can leave? And I can tell you right now, a lot of that's probably going to be acceptance. If you are in resistance, right? If you're hating something, what does it take to love it? That's often the lesson. Right? You don't want to be in resistance because guess what? If you're in resistance about a job that you don't like, and if you haven't resolved that resistance and brought it to acceptance and love, then you can't leave really, because you'll just take that resistance with you into your self-employment, right? So you need to resolve it within yourself to start with. Ask your angels and guides to support you with that. Show me what it is that I need to see. Show me what it is that I need to learn. Show me what it is that I'm here for so I can receive the lesson, and then I can evolve and I can grow and I can step into what it is that I really do want to do. Super, super powerful, and again, looking towards the end of the year, would you like more angelic support moving into 2021? Right, you really want to start working with frequencies and energy of light that can support you in your day-to-day life, folks. I can't imagine what my life would look like without it. In fact, a lot of ways I think that, and I got a message like that the other day, and I really love that because I feel like it's the same for me. It was a beautiful soul. She sent me a message saying, I can hardly believe that when I first contacted you, I was thinking of killing myself. And now I'm really excited for my future. And let's put it this way, the universe gets your attention by your feelings. So if you're not feeling grateful, if you're feeling unhappy, that is the universe's calling card. It's kind of like tapping on your shoulder to say, are you ready yet? And your angels and guides will be doing stuff on a day-to-day basis to bring that into your awareness. So pay attention. Right? Maybe it's angel numbers. Maybe it is a memo. Maybe it's a billboard. Maybe it's something that a friend says. Your angels and guides work in all those different ways to bring you information to help you become more aware. Like I said, the increase in synchronicities for myself just recently, it's like everything is speeding up. It's almost like, if anybody's watched that movie Lucy with Scarlett Johansson, and she becomes kind of superhuman, right? She ingests this drug and it kind of takes her into this quantum dimension of knowing everything about everything. Yeah. And even like in the last couple of days, I was just like, whoa, it feels like that movie where you can just see how everything is connected, right? Like yesterday, even driving, I was like looking up and seeing things and it had significant meaning. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's right in front of my face and it's all connected. And it was like seeing the fabric of your life and how it's all weaved together. Really, really fascinating time to be alive, but ultra fascinating time to be alive and to be really aware of the universe and how the universe operates and how the universe gifts you angels and guides to support you in your journey so you don't have to feel so alone. When you're crying on your bathroom floor, devastated because something awful has happened, or your perception of it being awful has happened, your angels and guides are with you. Right? They're with you all the time. When you get that phone call with bad news, your angels and guides are with you. Let them support you. Right? Let them help you. Ask them to help you to increase your abundance. Ask them to show you what's blocking me in terms of creating more abundance in my life. Where am I not taking the action? Or where am I not seeing what I need to see to be able to step into more abundance? Right? And I don't think there's anything wrong, right? Your angels and guides are, they're not going to take offense. So if you get angry or wild, it is okay. I can't tell you guys how many arguments I've had with God. But again, the point being is I don't shame myself for that, because I have been in, I've literally said to the universe, I don't understand. You're going to have to explain this to me in a different way, right? You're going to have to, I feel like I'm being really thick here, but can you bring the information in a different way? Because I don't get it. And then the universe does, but it's okay to get angry. God gets it. Of course, it's frustrating being a human. There is no guidebook. It is inside of us, and we're the ones who have to figure it out through self-inquiry. We have to ask questions of ourselves so we have a greater understanding, so we can live in the frequencies we want to live in, which is the freedom, the pleasure, the abundance, that feeling of fulfillment and satisfaction that comes from knowing that we're living to our highest potential. So you're intelligent, smart, educated, funny, beautiful, wise, gorgeous people. So take advantage of all the resources that you have available to you. You know, really, I think in this day and age, folks, if you're not using your intuition, you're not on the leading edge. If you haven't learned how to read energy yet, you are going to be behind the 8 ball, especially in business, especially in terms of success, and especially in terms of fulfillment. You know, a lot of people think that having it all is a myth. Right? It is totally true. You can have it all. It is a frequency that you can live in. You can live in the energetic frequency of abundance. You can create that for yourself, but it does take effort. And it is some of the hardest effort you will probably ever do. Let's not put any bones about it. It is hard work looking at yourself. It is confronting to look at yourself and go, I am literally in self-sabotage at the moment, or I am literally blocking my own success because I won't get out of my own way, because I'm scared to take an action, because I'm scared to put myself out there, because I'm scared to do something different. Ask your angels and guides to help you. That's what they're there for. Please, angel, can you bring me the energy of comfort? Can you bring me the energy of confidence in this moment so I can extend myself, so I can reach out? You know, can you bring me the energy of helping me to forgive this person so I can resume my own happiness? Can you bring me whatever it is that you need, right? Whether it's a resolution between you and yourself and another family member, whether it's harmony between you and your children, whether it's support between you and your boss, whatever it is that you need, you can ask your angels and guides to support you. You know, and really fun things. And again, I don't call on just angels and guides. I also call on other frequencies and energies like Mother Mary or Jesus or Kuan Yin, Goddess of Kindness, Kali, who's she's a good one for clearing out old energy because she's associated with kind of like death and plunder a little bit. And other energies and frequencies that you can call on to really support you. However, we've just talked about angels and guides today. However, you know, like I can give you the story because it wasn't actually with an angel, but it was with Jesus. I was in a car once and I was going down the road and I was going to the airport and I was just kind of holding out my hand. I was by myself, but I was running late. And I think it was an international flight, so it's kind of not the thing that you want to run late for because they have a tendency to close the doors on you these days. And so what I did is I just kind of held my hand out to the passenger seat and I called on the energy of Jesus. And I said, you know, can you please help me to get to the airport on time? And then I got pretty much, I live, at the beach, and the airport is a wee way from the beach in Christchurch. So, 35 minutes really to get to the airport. If that traffic is good, if it's bad, probably 45. But I did this, and I think out of all the traffic lights, I got 2 red lights. So the whole way to the airport, I pretty much had green lights. It was so incredible and so fun, right? Because it's those little things like that when you ask and you get a direct response like that. Amazing, incredible. Now, a lot of people might sit there and go, oh, that's just, you can rationalize that, right? You can put that into your rational mind. But you're missing the point. You are the creator of your reality. If you don't ask the question, you won't be creating that for yourself. You won't be creating the experience of it. So you want to take ownership for your own reality. And again, if you're not using your intuition, you are going to be lagging behind. Just like as a business owner, you don't want to walk into a meeting and go, how's everybody? And everybody goes, yep, we're fine. And you can feel the tension or the subtext, as you might refer to it, underneath that. That doesn't make good business sense to ignore that. You want to speak to it. You want to say, hey guys, you're saying you're fine, but it doesn't actually feel that good in this room, right? As a business owner, bring some angels and guides to your workplace. See your staff being supported by their own angels and guides. See light underneath the floorboards in the property, right? Really do the energetic work. And again, you might just think, that's ridiculous, but it's your thought process, right? Your thought is energy. Where you focus your thoughts, you're focusing energy. So asking that angels and guides be present, you're focusing energy. You don't have to believe in angels and guides for them to even support you. How amazing is that? It's just like the universe, right? You don't have to believe in the universe either, but you have a soul. So it's your choice, right? Whether you want to activate and work with it and create the results that you want. So, folks, I want to tell you on the 20th, which is this coming Sunday at 9 o'clock, I am doing a Zoom call, which is going to be me and Archangel Metatron. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing upgrades in all your life. So, we're going to be channeling energy, which is asking Archangel Metatron to be there and to guide us through a process where we can release anything that we need to let go of from 2020 in particular, tune into these higher frequencies of energy and ask for upgrades to occur in all areas of your life. So if you've ever done energy work before or you're interested in trying it, it's totally free. I'm only offering it to people in the Intuitive Life Academy group though. So if you find the Intuitive Life Academy and then search for the group on Facebook, you'll be able to come into the group, and that is a totally free offer. The Zoom link is under announcements in the group. So do feel free to come and join us. Like I said, I love working with Archangel Metatron. I've learnt a lot from Archangel Metatron. You know, when you sleep, of course, you can go into spiritual classrooms to learn more. Archangel Metatron has a spiritual temple in Luxor in Egypt, which you can go visit, and again, doing it energetically to receive upgrades in your life. If you're interested in the energy of kind of having life speed up, go faster, manifest things more quickly, get out of your own way, be in the energy of harmony, then it's totally safe, right, and good to choose to come to this free energy upgrade. So yeah, like I said, in the Facebook group, the Intuitive Life Academy, join the group and see the link under announcements. It's this Sunday at 9 o'clock. So folks, that is it for another week. Next week we'll be doing a little bit of review in regards to what 2020 has taught us, in regards to reflecting on, you know, everything that has taken place. From my heart to yours, I'm sending you lots of love until next week. Bye for now, folks. See you later.